tātou. Tēnei te mauri ke ahau koe takahia ki te wana. Koe ia wana ki te whatu. Kei te maungara ki te mauri, kei te whaikia tiku e te mauri. He rea te mauri tū horomata, he rea i runga, he rea i raro.
Just back closer to now.
Kia ora tātou. Can you hear me?
No, it's going on and off.
Well, coming closer.
Tēnā tātou katoa, kei te rongo koutou. Tēnei te whatu kei ahau, koe a takahia ki te wana, koe a wana ki te whatu. Kei te maukara ki te mauri, kei te paikia tipua te mauri. He rea te mauri tū horomata, he rea i runga, he rea i raro. Tū te whiwhi ānuku, tū te whiwhi ārangi. Uhi wero. Tau mai te mauri, kia tū, tau mai te mauri, kia ora. Whano, kara mai te toki, haumi e, hui e, tāiki. Tuatahi, kei te mihi ake ki te rangi, ki te papa. Ki te wai, o ngā manaaki tanga koihia mai. O tira rātou kua wehe, tātou e tau nei te hongoora tēnā tātou. Tēnā tātou e hāpai nei i tēnei kaupapa. Me ki tātou ngā iwi o tēnei takiwa. Me te whakaro ake ki a rātou e arahi nei i tēnei kaupapa. Colin koutou, ko tō tira. Kei a koutou te whakaro nui ki a tātou katoa. Firstly, on behalf of our local people at Tuahiwi, I just want to acknowledge all the people behind this great kaupapa. And really this kaupapa, this coming together is about us as people and about acknowledging the environment we live in. So Colin, I know you've been walking down this pathway for a long time. I've been warming this little stone for you from the West Coast. I've said a few words to put into the stone, and I'll leave it up to you to find a place to bury it on the pathway as a little token from our people and a contribution to your thinking and your, I suppose, aroha for our people around us. So I won't say much further, but to ask you to come forward and receive the stone. And if I can get everyone to give Colin a round of applause.
Tēnā koe, te Marino. Thank you. Now, that's... Tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa. And welcome everyone to the launch today of the 360 Trail. It's great. My name is Cynthia Roberts, and let me immediately introduce you to the rest of the 360 committee, if they could come forward at this point. The 360 committee are all volunteers, and thousands of hours between us have gone into making today possible. What began as the Meurk Walks 25 years ago, exploring the natural and cultural heritage of Christchurch, has become the Christchurch 360 Trail, and thanks to Colin for the inspiration and the vision of bringing us all together for today. Hey, Colin! But I'd also like to make everyone on the 360 committee have had a specific role, but I really would like to just point out to you Jeremy Taylor, who, we have to thank him for websites and booklets and graphics that, the booklets are there for you today. And Shona. Really want to pay attention to Shona, because she has been the one who's worked hard on the routes, the signage, and knowing every single place where every single sign has gone. So Shona. Thank you for all joining me. Thank you for all the work for today. The other people that we quickly want to acknowledge, of course, are the Summit Road Society. Are there any people here from the Summit Road Society? Hey, thank you for the signage. Look. And of course, we need to acknowledge the Breeze Walking Festival, under whose umbrella we've come today, and tomorrow's walks as well that we're doing. But I really want to concentrate in these few moments here on our 3 seeding funders, which are the Christchurch City Council. Any staff here today from the Christchurch City Council? Yay! Hand for them. Thank you, Christchurch City Council. Especially Eric Banks, and I think I've seen Linda Burns is here. Thank you, Linda, for the support from your staff too. And the councillors. I think we've got 4 councillors here today. Hands up, councillors. Stand up. Let's see you, because it's your voting, supporting us. Thank you. It's your voting and supporting the funding that's make this possible. And this is, as you say, is the beginning. This is just the beginning. So we're hoping that this relationship is...
We know what follows from it.
Now the next, we want to say thank you to other Rotarians. We've forged a fantastic partnership with the Rotarians, and we want to hang on to that. We're not going to let them go. And we want to thank them for the hundreds of signs that they've put up along the trail. So they've also put up the tent for today. They're doing the barbecues for tomorrow. Their store. So a big hand for the Rotarians. Thank you. And they also funded the fantastic logo that was made by Keith Lark. You know it, we love it, don't you? You'll all want a t-shirt, I know. It's just stunning, thank you. And finally the Horticultural Society that also seed funded us at the beginning, giving us money. And Emma Vale, when you start walking the trail, you'll see her wonderful interpretation panels. They're stunning. So from the Horticultural Society, a big thank you. Is Emma here today? Anyway, look out for her work, it's beautiful. So, I'm now going to hand over to our first of our honoured guests this morning, Vicki Buck. I'm delighted, Vicki, that you're here to open it. Vicki and I go back a little way. We're from a period when we had a lot of fun doing some things around Christchurch. I've only come back a year ago, and I was so delighted, Vicki, that you're one of the ones at the helm. And I love your Facebook and the way you keep us in touch and the passion that you have for the city. So over to you, Vicki. Can I just say how... Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, can I just say how unusual it is to be here, standing in what was Pacific Park subdivision, opening a walking trail. It is kind of surreal. But what's amazing about this trail, and what I love about it particularly, is that here is a group of amazingly passionate Christchurch people who've just gone and made it happen, and done it with just for such a long period of time, and brought in all the resource that they need, but they've just really made it happen by themselves. And I think that's just such an amazing way of doing things. So if there's anything else in the city you just want to go and make happen, we'd love to hear it. I'd also like to acknowledge Ruth Dyson, who's here, and Poto Williams, who I saw earlier. Somewhere? Yeah? Lovely to see you guys.
Yeah.
But that's actually how we'd love the city, a lot of the city to run. And it's obviously difficult to collect rates that way, but in terms of the stuff that you want to do, here's a city now, I think, where we think anything is possible, and you guys are proving that. So you've done an incredible job of just displaying the ecological, the architectural, the whole diversity that is Christchurch. And I think what you're doing is just so wonderful. I know it's been a long work in progress, and I just want to acknowledge all of the people who have put in so many hours making this actually happen. And I wanted to acknowledge particularly Colin, because Colin comes along to the council from time to time, usually wanting something. It's kind of cool actually, because it's always something really neat that he wants. And I know that Colin would like Christchurch to be the bellbird capital of New Zealand, or of the world. But I want to get something that sort of acknowledged Colin in his
the many things that he's done, because there's quite a lot of good stories about Colin. One I like particularly was when this is the trouble when somebody else got the microphone, Michael. Is when he was in Campbell Island some few years ago now, and he actually got stood by accident, obviously, on the flipper of a sea lion, and got a bit of a nip. And I know it's really hard to bite a sea lion back. So what we did was that we made for Colin the Meurk medal. And there is a sea lion on it, Colin, so when you want to, you can bite him. And I'd just really like to give you this and to acknowledge all of the work that all of you have done in making this possible, because what you've done is truly awesome. So thank you from all of us. Awesome. That's lovely symbol. Fantastic, yeah. Next up, we have Murray Compton from Rotary. Murray is the district governor, the Rotary District Governor 997. Now, for those of you not in the know, that's the whole of the top of the South Island. So, big area. So, yeah. Now, as I mentioned, the Christchurch 360 partnership with Rotary has been our backbone. They've kept us standing when we felt like we were going to fall over, providing funding and all the things I've mentioned. So, welcome.
Thank you, Cynthia. I'm a bit of a fraud being here today because a lot of this work started under our previous district governor, Liz Courtney, who is actually away attending her mother's 90th birthday. She thought she should be there rather than here, but so I'm lucky enough to be the district governor at the time of the opening. And I want to thank, on behalf of Rotary, all those who have been so involved. The work from Rotary has been led really by Fan Shaw and Rod Payton, who are
And
around.
them.
So we're delighted that they've taken such a lead in it. This is a project that I think really reflects what Rotary is all about, and we hope it's going to be ongoing. Our people have been out putting up the signs. Whoever, I was amazed going to a meeting and seeing how well that was organised with all the photographs and so on. So I hope you've got them in the right place. If you haven't, I'm sure we'll hear about it. If you end up in Ashburton, clearly we have made a mistake. But we hope that there will be an ongoing involvement, and that many of our clubs will perhaps work with you and trust and so on with maintaining the track and perhaps putting some seats in. I'm not sure how we do that, Vicki, but I'm sure the council will tell us where we can put them, but we would like to...
Just do it. Yeah, I would bet.
I guess you put them in and we pay for it. Whatever happens, we'll it's something we'd like to do. And tomorrow, of course, once the walkways start, our people are cooking up the sausages and doing that tomorrow, which is a job that Rotary people do very well. Cooking sausages, they're pretty well experienced. But I do there's a huge credit to all those involved, to Colin, the Trust and the Council. It's something that Rotary will take pride in having been involved in for so long. And we look forward to walking it. Unfortunately, Leslie and I can't be put together. There's a blood pressure campaign on today as well for Rotary, so we'll be doing that. The blood pressure might be higher if we walk, but
That might come down.
But I certainly want to congratulate Colin for his thought and the work that he did in developing it. It's something that Rotary has been very proud to be involved with, and we wish you well with the once it starts really being used. And we hope, as I say, that we can continue to play a role in that through the various things that Rotary has helped you with, whether it be the booklet, the website, or whatever we've done, and the signs. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Our clubs have really enjoyed it, and we wish you well as it goes on. And once again, thank you, Colin, for the thought.
Thank you, Mary, for those words. I'm handing over to Colin now. As you know, he's an ecologist extraordinaire. And the thing about Colin is that he has been always unstinting in the way he has shared his knowledge and love for the environment. So over to you, Colin.
Thank you, friends and supporters, and It's wonderful to see you all here on such a beautiful day. It does seem a bit surreal, as Vicki says. It's been a long journey, and so the idea of extending the walkway to Campbell Island. Yeah, I'm stinting, maybe. Perhaps stubborn might be a better word. Anyway, I was a bit alarmed yesterday when I was listening to national radio, which I love to listen to most of the time. So I've got some new journalists there now, interviewing one of our wonderful Canterbury singer-songwriters. I've actually forgotten her name, but she lives up in the hills there, behind Rainiora somewhere. And the announcer, who obviously was based in Auckland, said, "Oh, why don't you come up to where it's really happening up here in Auckland?" And I sort of thought, yes, national radio, okay. Well, you know, we all stand on the shoulders of our ancestors, and we go right back here to our Gondwana heritage, you know, tens of millions of years, the natural and geological history. And of course, following on from there, a little bit more recently, is the mana whenua. And I'm very privileged that to Marino, and thank you also for coming here to support us, Porto, thank you. I feel very humbled by your presence and your involvement here. And this trail is very much about celebrating our cultural heritage and all the layers of our history as well. And I'm just sort of reminded that just round the corner here there's an actual physical reminder of the history of the mana whenua here. There's an iowea still surviving in the edge of the estuary just round the corner. Important mahingakai area for the mana whenua. And of course there's also more recently our English and in my case Swedish ancestors who settled here sort of 150 years ago. And we're also standing on the shoulders of the tireless and endlessly cheerful volunteers and supporters, the brilliant Christchurch 360 Trail team who've helped put all of this together. And then of course all of the various formal sponsors like Christchurch City Council, and thanks Linda and Eric for all the work that you've done in helping make this happen today. Environment Canterbury, of course, also part of the picture, and we've heard about the enormous input that Rotary, Canterbury Horticultural Society have made, and also Jeremy, who represents Tailfin, and my own organisation, Lenihan Research, Department of Conservation, Lincoln University, have all sort of contributed in various ways. And of course the many other hundreds of supporters and Facebookers who've all shown their support over the last few years, partly as a result most recently of articles from the media, from the press and so on. And it's lovely to see the media here today as well. Also Nature Watch is a component of this. If you look on our website you'll see Nature Watch live streaming showing the natural history of the walk. Well, it's been a very long journey, starting a quarter of a century ago, I suppose, at a meeting we held at Arana Park way back then, and it was even recognised back in 2009. We actually won the inaugural Golden Foot Awards. You can all put on your golden jandals and join us on this walk any time. But Stan Darling here, I think, was sort of instrumental in sort of putting us forward for this award, and there it is, something to put on our wall sometime. But the journey really is just beginning now, and there's no real destination in a circle. But in fact there's continually unfolding stories, and there's a story of our broad sort of landscapes, and we've got the binoculars here to kind of like scan the landscape on the horizon, right down to, there's a story in every single sort of millimetre, even just in the sort of dandelion and say the insects that pollinate there. And you've got your hand lens here to see those stories in every millimetre. That means there's 137 million stories around the entire 137 kilometre tract here. Well, it's above all not just a pleasant walk in the woods. It's designed to showcase and celebrate the amazing diversity and richness in our wonderful city. And why, and it's about why we are a great little city and a multi-dimensional city, and how we can be uplifted and made even better, I believe. So sorry, Auckland, this is the Great Walk. This is the happening place, and we just have to let it be, and that's what we're doing. So good on you, Christchurch.
Yeah, thanks, Colin. Fantastic. With this, before we have our last speaker, Jason, we've just got a few notices.
One of the things that we've sort of like enjoyed seeing over the last little while is we've been getting a few things up on Facebook and social media and trying to engage with the community, and we hope that carries on. We hope that this whole trail will actually be a real attraction to visitors around the world as a result, and people will be drawn to Christchurch. But we also want to see locals getting out there and enjoying the local environment, and we would like to see a bit of a challenge to have people, locals, get out into their community, go around and try doing the trail, maybe within a year, set themselves a challenge or something like that, go and over the course of a year do each of the legs. But I'll tell you what, we've actually already got somebody, even before we had all of the signs up, going around and deciding she had some time off work, she was going to go and run around the entire course before it was even opened. And so she's the first person that we know of that has gone and done the entire course in one go, in one sort of like effort, and one sort of challenge. And so I'd like to introduce you now to Corinne. I've got some things to give her here. And as Corinne went around around the trail doing her running, she tweeted and Facebooked along the way to let other people know what she was going and let her friends see what was happening. And we really appreciate that. And we actually hope all of you, as you go around and enjoy the... As you want to photograph it.
Presentation.
Not you, Jeremy.
Oh, okay.
I know, I can take it. We really want all of you, as you go around, to take advantage of social media. You can really help us publicise this by Facebooking about your experiences going around, a little bit of a tweet here or there, and especially support the Nature Watch NZ website. If you've see something, an interesting plant or a creature around the course, take a photo of it, even if you don't know what it is. Nature Watch people will actually help you identify what it is. It's a fabulous tool. You can get an app for your smartphone for it. Please get out there and really make something of the trail. You're actually going to help us advertise it and make it a real happening thing. Thank you very much.
Right, thanks, Gavin. Now, you might be aware that tomorrow we are running 3 guided walks, which are interpreting not just walking. We've got guides and we've got 3 going, but I think all of them are booked out except Travis. Is that right? Where's Judith? Now, Judith, if anybody is interested in having a guided walk tomorrow, that is the one to go for, and you're going to have our leader, Colin, as part of that. Now, before we introduce our final speaker, I just want to let you know what's happening next. We're going to be, after Jason we're going to go over and cut the ribbon. Hey. And then we just want everyone to walk this first part of the trail as sort of part of that opening little segue, and we've got along the road, along this trail, we've got Birds New Zealand and Travis Wetland and quite a few other individual people too have kindly brought along their telescopes. So the tide, I organised for a full tide, and I realised as soon as I arrived here that that wasn't actually what we wanted. We actually wanted low tide to see birds. I thought it looked more beautiful, but anyway. So we've got telescopes set up along this path, and a big hand thank you to Birds New Zealand and Travis Wetland people who brought those along for us today. Thank you. So it's only about a 5-minute walk, but take your time, look around and enjoy that bit, and then we're all going to gather again at the Bexley seat there that the Bexley Wetland Trust put up for us, and Colin and Jason are going to say a little bit more there, and then approximately, I've just realised that my watch wasn't really good, but approximately around 12ish, we're looking to farewell Colin on the 137 kilometre trail, and accompanying him we've got Penny Carnaby and Tina True, who've done a lot of work in terms of, where are they, Penny? Wave, in terms of putting together accommodation and organising what we hope is going to be the future of this trail, which is opening up for businesses to provide accommodation along the route. And so they've started that process going. And everyone who would like to walk that first part of the trail with Colin, please feel free to do so. Walk as far as you'd like. We're not providing transport today, but we are tomorrow. But you just go for as long as you like with that. Now, our last speaker this morning is Jason. And when Jason turned up a couple of months ago, when we did our first site visit, having chosen this as the place, I couldn't believe it. He said, "Yes, I can do that. I'll help you with that. I'll help you with that." So Jason, the Roberts name, is important part. No relation, but you're a gem. Thank you for all you've done. And Jason's going to lead us into a little bit of the story of this place.
With his glasses on.
Hiding.
I probably don't need this.
Stand up, yes you do. Costume out.
Totally uncomfortable now. If I could just give a little bit of a brief history of the area, and it is brief. Early 1800s, potatoes grown here for the war. Later on, this was all dairy cattle, feeding Christchurch milk. 1984 as it was deemed that a lot of punters around here wanted to see this wetland kept or developed. 97, the council jumped on board, myself and a lot of other people. Lenihan showed up for work days. Behind us we had a scrap metal dealer, Mr. Cunningham, in Cunningham's yard. It was meant to be full of planes, trains and automobiles. So that was taken out, heavy metals put onto the horse paddocks over here and capped, and it's still there. When we were digging that out, I was hoping to find all sorts of spoils. We found some bricks from the Valentine's fire, and that was about it. But the moats were dug in, and the whole area was changed into a really wonderful wetland. 2000, Chrissy, the trust was formed. We had schools, St James jump on board, tracks went in, and we had numerous public planting days. So from then it became like a really, really wonderful wetland. We had aquatic life coming through. Obviously it's not here now, but it's still a wetland. It's changed and it's changing still. So we don't know what the future holds. But I mean, that's the background of here. As we're wandering along, if anyone wants to know any more questions, it's more comfortable for me doing it out there than out here. But there was interesting stuff. Shrimps were harvested here for the Christchurch Aquarium. Just the wildlife here was just amazing. And I mean, the amount of people, and there is some locals here that helped out and put a lot of time into this area. I can see some faces were here doing all this. I mean, 2000, you can imagine fences were coming along, and we were busy planting trees along here. It's just amazing, There's a couple that came here. Every weekend from Sumner and put in their own time, even without us. So that's just a snippet. If you want to know any questions, just hit us up and we're wandering around.
Cool. Thank you.
And the final word goes to you. Thank you for coming today to cheer us on. Thank you for your support. We are delighted that you are here, and thank you. And if there are people that I haven't acknowledged, please understand that there are many people behind the scenes who have done work in the past, and we really appreciate that. So we'll all gather, and we're going to move over to the cutting ceremony. The cutting edge.
We want you as well as Vicki.
Lost Vicki? Have you lost Vicki? Okay, here's here's Vicki, and do this so that we actually see you. Okay. Okay.
There's a few councillors here, and one of them's just volunteered to start walking right round and organise it. So Glenn, do you want to come and help? Glenn's going to be shy now.
Councillors.
So there's Glenn and Philip Pauline.
MPs.
Come on, we can do it.
Spare child.
Come on.
Come on, Anna.
No,
Sorry?
Glenn, you
Excuse me, Glenn.
Future, our future generation.
and actually it should be Cynthia. Because nobody said thank you to you, Cynthia, and you need a huge thank you. So you come and
No, it's got to be you. It's got to be you, Vicki.
Where's Colin? Colin, we need Colin.
We need Colin in the middle.
So who's at the cutting edge? Colin.
Okay, now before we
As we cut, we're having a hip hip hooray for the child.
Ready?
Ready?
We have
We have the photos?
Yeah, you ready?
The pants are falling down.
Brace yourself, Colin.
Okay, right. Okay, amazingly.
Hip hip hooray! Hip hip hooray!
Come forward. And the first step
On the trail, please. The first steps on the trail.